the best quarterback in the draft is CJ Stroud. The combine confirmed that for me. Your biggest winner is probably Anthony Richardson. The athletic feats he put in the combine are unbelievable almost. But for me, that's like he performed kind of mediocre in field drills, like in legitimate passing drills, whereas CJ Stroud was near perfect, right? And so athleticism is cool if you want your team to be run by Lamar Jackson. I don't want that quarterback for my team. And so I think what we're going to end up finding is Anthony Richardson probably is the first or second quarterback off the draft board just from combine stuff. And that's going to be a huge letdown. And then I think CJ Stroud's going to come off second or third, and he's probably going to end up being the best quarterback in the draft class. Wally knows my feelings on Ohio State quarterbacks. That's a lot for me to say out loud, but I think it's based on what he put out at the combine. If, you continue having pro days, I shouldn't say pro days, but you continue having drills like that in this offseason before the draft, you continue showing NFL teams that on the field, you are perfect, but you might not be the most athletic guy in the class. You might not have that super special feat. I think he's going to be the best quarterback in the class. I think Bryce Young might be second, and then I think there's going to be a drastic drop-off between the rest.
And what sucks is Anthony Richardson had an amazing combine, but now he's going to skyrocket for absolutely no reason at all.
First of all, I agree. CJ Stroud put on at the combine, people were saying it was one of the better combines for a quarterback we've seen in a long time. Just silky smooth, just very constant, very effortless. It feels like he's going to be a very safe pick at quarterback. And you're betting on him that you're getting the Georgia CJ Stroud, the one that's willing to move and run from the pocket from time to time. And that's where the question is, was it Ryan Day's system or was it CJ Stroud's reluctance to run? As for Anthony Richardson, it's the obvious comp and everybody knows it. It's Josh Allen. The thought is, can we fix him? Because he's got the highest ceiling of all of these guys. The only problem is his floor is very low. If you aren't able to develop it, that's a problem. That's where I think for me, it comes into that question of, I would almost rather swing big and miss big, because then I'll at least be in a position to draft another quarterback next year, than get one of these Kirk Cousins, Derek Carrs, Ryan Tannehills that are going to keep you good enough to draft around 16 to 22, but nothing better than that. So
what happens if you swing big on Richardson and you get Lamar Jackson? Are you paying him $50 million a year? At that point, it's going to be like $75 million a year. 5 years.
If you're calling like the Lamar Jackson equivalent, it would be more of like a Cam Newton then, where he's got that.
Because he can actually throw the ball.
I agree, but it's still, he's not a great thrower.
I agree. But that's neither was Josh Allen. That was
Lamar Jackson.
Well, Josh Allen's biggest knock coming out of college was he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And that's where teams are betting, like the Bills did, we can fix him. They're being the problematic girlfriend. I can change him. I can be the one.
As long as they can see Play-Doh and they think that they can sculpt it to their liking, then they're going to take the quarterback. To your point, I think Josh Allen is a great comparison because that's what you have here. This is a guy who actually has a big arm. Did he miss on it? Yeah. I've seen him overthrow it with maybe a more NFL athletic receiver that's going to be able to catch it. But I've also seen him throw it a back shoulder that wasn't really a back shoulder that would have been intercepted by a NFL DB. I liked his passing. I like CJ Stroud's too. I think CJ had a couple of those millisecond misses, right? Where it's a little bit more behind. That might be an interception, but overall,
not really.
I think those two were the great passes.
Like Stroud, that's the thing. I don't want to be the Ohio State homer and I'm really trying not to be, but David, you said it, where like his performance at the combine was nearly flawless. He looked as polished as a passer as anybody in this draft class.
But that's the thing with quarterbacks too. Zach Wilson's scarring us right now, scarring me at least.
Throwing in shorts is like the biggest crime. I still
Zach
to this
Wilson
day
wasn't even that good. He had one pass
Bro,
that got put on social
Exactly.
media.
Did we see any other shitty passes? No, they're like, hey, look at this one pass out of 12 that we saw.
But CJ Stroud, nobody's doing that for. It's kind of like it's like a subtle agreement. It's like, that was kind of perfect. Like the
no,
whole
everybody was
product
like,
was kind of perfect.
yeah, everybody was like, ooh, kind of shocked. But here's the crazy thing is that the odds in Vegas actually flipped, where CJ went from second to third, most likely quarterback to get drafted first, and Anthony Richardson jumped all the way to 2.